Hey guys, hope you're all well. I'm doing well. Hope you guys are doing well as well. It is Wednesday. I keep getting my days mixed up because of the long weekend. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's a victim to that. But it's Wednesday at 4:43. I was able to get out a little early, which is always nice, always much appreciated. And as for updates, make sure I'm recording, but as for updates, not really too much. Still cranking these out, which is always good. Still finding time or multiple time slots every day to work on editing, so that's good. I'm staying productive and staying positive with that. I'm doing them. I'm posting the TikToks and the orders that I posted YouTube videos, and right now I'm on the YouTube video that was like an hour and 20 something minutes long. So it's a long one, and I'm slowly just churning that out for a TikTok video. So getting in almost an hour and a half down to ideally within 3 minutes is a little bit of a task, and it's taken some time, but we're making steady progress every day on it, which is good. So I'm sure that's what I'm gonna be working on tonight. Once I get this all ready and uploaded, I'll keep working on that. But yeah, just trying to stay consistent with all that stuff. And it kind of reminds me that life kind of happened last night, and I had a big fantasy draft that went on for well over an hour into the night. So I always try to stay off my phone for like around like the last hour before I fall asleep. And one thing that I do that helps a lot with that is to read. I've mentioned that I try to do a good job of reading every day during the work week. At least the weekend's always a bit of a toss-up with reading, but I always try to read at the end of each work day. Again, just to kind of stay off my phone, especially towards the hours that I'm trying to fall asleep, and because I want to keep it a good habit of reading a little bit every day for the most part. So I like staying consistent with that, and I like having strong habits, good strong habits, and I like staying consistent with them, and keeping them what they are, which is habits. And it does kind of throw me off whenever I'm not able to fully stick to my habits I like to do every day. But like I just mentioned with this whole fantasy draft thing, and took a lot longer than I think a lot of us in the league expected. And because of that, after that, I pretty much just went straight to bed. I didn't do any reading or anything like that. So again, not ideal. Didn't exactly stay consistent, but you have to let life happen sometimes, and be human, and be imperfect sometimes, and just be okay with it. You're allowed to deviate a little bit in moderation. But yeah, so don't beat yourself up too much if you don't stay like perfectly perfect on the line, or up to your standards, or whatever goals or anything else that you have in your mind. Just as long as you're on the general path, and the more you're on it, the better. But so long as you're moving forward every day, it's all right if something comes up and you can't be perfectly perfect. One day, all is good. But yeah, I guess that concludes updates. There really wasn't much that that crossed my mind today. Just one of those days. Yeah, not really any major thoughts that I had or anything like that. I'm trying to do some last second remembering, but I tried to think back towards the end of the workday. I was trying to analyze my day a little bit and think about any thoughts that I had or things that I heard or anything like that. I'm trying to do the same thing now. There is maybe one thing that we can talk about later, but me just remembering right now. There was one thing I heard in this podcast I listened to, and I'm not going to rant about it for too long because I kind of want to keep this message short and sweet, straight to the point. But I was listening to this podcast, and the person, the host of the show, was talking about being your authentic self, just being you, and how it will always have a positive impact on every aspect of your life. It will never have a negative impact on you whatsoever by being you, being yourself, being authentically yourself. It will never have a bad impact on you and in your life and whatever you're going through at the moment, or whatever situation you're in. It'll only ever be a good thing to be authentically yourself. So so yeah, then there's one other thing she mentioned, and I'm gonna cut it off after this because I don't want to confuse you guys and myself too much with this whole thing. But she said, you shouldn't have to try or make an effort to be yourself. You should just be. And I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, you shouldn't have to make an effort or try, or really, you shouldn't have to be yourself. You should really just be. Again, I like that a lot, so I shared it with you guys. But yeah, I guess if I can expand on that a little more, because a thought just came out of that just now. I know there's I myself have been one for a long part of my life. A big part of my life was, being a people pleaser and trying to not exactly put a mask on, but make an effort to kind of make myself into a certain character when around certain people, if that makes sense. And over time, as you grow older and you start to naturally just learn more about yourself and discover yourself and become more in tune with yourself and and all that stuff, like appreciate yourself and respect yourself, you start to naturally gravitate away towards that. And you do that, and you also realize that you shouldn't always be a people pleaser. Yes, you should always look to help people and have a positive impact on others. But before that, and this is something I've mentioned in one of my first videos, is that you have to first be a good person to yourself and have a positive impact on yourself before you do the same with others. So yeah, I guess what it's really trying to say is don't try to, don't even try to what you think. There there's a good point to make. I'm trying to figure out how to word it. Don't try to be who you think you should be or who you want to be. Just be, just be. Not even just be you. Literally, just be. Don't try to be yourself. Just be. I think that's a pretty cool message, and again, I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm merging right now, so excuse my concentration. I've now merged. But yeah, so pretty much just a full-on wing it day. It just so happened that I didn't have any major thoughts today, anything that really crossed my mind and made me think, or something that I've been chewing on for a good portion of the day. So I think it'll be a good wing it day. And again, it's not like every day is going to be a wing it day, or every day is going to be a complete structured day. I think, you just kind of take it as naturally as you can. Just kind of go with the flow as much as you can, and that applies more to just making these videos for you guys. But with life in general, just go with the flow. Don't go against the grain. Don't resist everything that you're going through and that is coming towards you and you're dealing with. Just kind of go with the flow. Do that. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Not only with myself, but with these videos, is that I've kind of gone through. I would still say I'm in the beginning phase of all this. I'm a few weeks in, but I would still consider myself a student of the game. I'm still learning every time I do this, which I think is gonna never stop. But what I'm trying to say is that I've gone through the initial experimental phase where I took the complete natural way, and then the complete engineered and structured way, and I tried doing like a little bit of in between. And what I've kind of learned so far through doing this is that the best way to make these videos is just to play it by ear. If there's a day that I have a lot of good thoughts, then it can be a day where I can make a more structured video to get all my thoughts and ideas and whatnot to you guys. And if there's a day where I just so happen to not have a lot of crazy good thoughts or anything like that, then it'll be a little wing it day where I kind of give what I got in the moment, and then kind of expand on things in the moment, and really you get kind of a cool little impromptu video, which are always nice every once in a while. So yeah, just kind of embracing imperfection, embracing the whole just going with the flow of everything, and just allowing things to happen, and yeah, just not beating myself up too much, and of course holding myself to a high standard and trying to give you guys the best that I have in the moment. But just knowing where the line is, and knowing not to cross that line where I start to kind of beat myself up too much and psych myself out, and really just have a negative impact on myself. So yeah, just ever so slowly growing and all that stuff. There's a really cool car next to me. Yeah, that's really cool. I doubt you guys can see it, but really cool car. I guess that kind of makes, I don't know, I do want to eventually get to the main thing that I want to talk about today, and we will, but I'm a pretty, not a pretty big, but I would say I'm a car enthusiast. I like cars ever since I was a kid. I don't know how they work. Like, I don't know like about engines and all that stuff. I just know like the companies and the makes and the models, and maybe like a few other little facts and other tidbits about cars and that kind of stuff. But it's always funny, like ever since I was a kid, if you asked me what my dream car was at the moment, I would have to like take like 20 minutes to think of what my answer was, because I would consider myself an amateur enthusiast, and there's so many cars that first off exist, but then so many that I like for different reasons that I guess me being a bit of a perfectionist, it was always difficult to pinpoint my one dream car. And then, when I think this is kind of a natural thing that happens, is that when you see someone in a car that you low-key really like, you're kind of jealous of that person deep down, and because of that, you kind of have a negative view of that person deep down, whether you like to admit it or not. I'm no exception to it, but I've began to realize it and dig a little deeper into the why behind it, and I because of that, I learned a little bit more about myself, and I've grown, and now when I see a really cool car and I see the person in that car, I'm not really jealous or view them in any sort of negative way. I more of feel really good for them. I feel really happy for them because I think that's a really cool car, and they must have worked really hard for it, or have done something good in their lives to find themselves behind the wheel of that car. So yeah, I'm more of, when I see a cool car now, instead of getting jealous or whatever towards the person driving it and having, I guess, a negative attitude towards it, I look at the car and I look at the person driving it, I'm like, good for you, man. Like, I like that car a lot. I'm sure you like it even more. Good for you, man. Like, peace and love. Hope all is well. But yeah, that's just me. So I guess after that, again, this is a cool little wing it video. You're kind of just getting random, sporadic thoughts in the moment. You're kind of getting a live show in a way. I didn't plan any of this, which is always kind of cool once in a while. But yeah, so I guess we can get to, I guess, the main thing I want to talk about today. Again, I didn't have any major thoughts, but before I left the office, I did have one thing that I thought would be kind of interesting to talk about, see where it goes, since I literally had nothing else in my mind planned out for this video. But I mentioned a few videos ago, and if you saw it, shout out to you. Appreciate the continued support with these videos. But I mentioned a few days ago that I think meditation would be a great thing to do on top of many other things, many other little things, little habits in your life to do. I mentioned that I think meditation would be a great thing to start to do, and that I haven't started it yet, but I know that in many ways it would have a positive impact on me and my life and my surroundings and all that. So I want to give you guys a quick update that as of Monday, as of Labor Day, so this past Monday, I have started meditating. So this would be, if I do today, which I plan on, this would be my third day. So I wouldn't consider it a habit just yet. Again, I like to think that after 2 weeks of you continually doing something, it would be a habit. That's just my opinion, though. But yeah, so this is day 3 of doing this meditation that I'm doing, and already it's going really well. I know it's kind of it might sound honestly a little naive to say that, because I'm only 3 days in. Like, what do I really know what I'm talking about? But it feels good so far. I like how it's going so far after 2 days, not even 3 yet, but after 2 days. So here I am today, going for a 3rd day in a row. And there's a million different types of meditations. There's a million different types of meditations, and how each of them plays a positive role and has a positive impact on you and others is totally different. What kind of meditation works really well for me probably is very different from what would work best for you. And also, like, what do I know? Like, this is literally like the first ever like legit kind of meditation I'm doing, so who knows what will come out of it, and where I'll kind of venture to meditation-wise, meditation style-wise after this. But at least as a starting point, it's going really well for me after 2 days. But yeah, so what I'm doing is it's just a series of I don't know. I know a little bit about it. I don't know too much. I don't want to become like an expert in this meditation before I even did it for the first time. But pretty much what I'm doing is it's a series of progressively more complex, might be the right word, of meditations, and they're guided meditations. So you wear a pair of earbuds, not like Bluetooth or wireless or anything like that, like wired. For me, it's like earbuds, but I'm sure you could use wired headphones too. But it's a series of guided meditations, and so far from my knowledge, they're around like 30 minutes each. I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert in this, so if I'm wrong, please forgive me. But yeah, it's a series of these increasingly more complex guided meditations, where you wear these earbuds and this person talks to you, and they play noise, and they pretty much instruct you and lead you through this meditation. And yeah, it's been going great for me after 2 days. I know I've said it a bunch, but it's been going great so far. Already I feel like I'm more calm and more relaxed, and in just a general more positive mindset and attitude and just state of being throughout the day. I feel like I'm more aware to things both around me and within me. There's one other thing that I'm trying to remember right now. And yeah, this is another thing that I've kind of noticed, is that I remember my dreams much better now, which is something that I think is really cool. It's something that I just kind of realized myself this morning, honestly. But ever since I've started doing these, guided earbud meditations, if that's what you want to call it, since Monday, since I've been doing it, I've remembered my dreams a lot more, which I think is really cool. I think dreams are a super interesting topic, something that I'm very interested in, because there's a lot of mystery and different schools of thought and ways of thinking and potential and all this other stuff within that topic that I think is really interesting to kind of get lost in every now and then. And my biggest thing is, I believe that, on top of many things about dreams, I believe that they're extremely powerful, and that there's a lot more. Like the kind of main message of this channel is that there's a lot more behind dreams than you think. And my one thing that always kind of irked me, I think is a good way to put it about dreams, is that I think they're so great, and that there's so much more to them and so much more behind them, and they're so powerful and all that other stuff I just talked about. But it seems like I'm never able to remember them. I feel like there's so much meaning and greater purpose and use behind them that you should use in your current life if you can. But the thing is, it's so much information. I'm going a little bit back and forth now, but so much information in so many ways that your brain is working in ways that it never normally works. During the day, during your the hours that you're awake and you're doing stuff, your brain works very differently and in a very unique way when you're asleep compared to when you're awake. And I think that there's a lot of potential and power and in ways to harness that and use it during, you know, your waking hours to really better your life and the world around you. That's kind of my 2 cents about it. I know I've gave a lot more than 2 cents, but yeah, my thing has always been is that there's such great potential power behind these dreams. There's another cool car that I'm coming up on right now, but there's so much to it, but I can never seem to remember my dreams. And I know that it's not the same for everyone. Some people are very, just another cool car too. I'm noticing things, right? I'm noticing things more, being more aware. But some people are very good at remembering dreams. They seem to just remember every detail of every one of their dreams all the time. And, you know, look at, say, Paul McCartney or Dave Grohl, or I mean, I'm kind of biased towards music because I like music a lot, but all those musicians, a lot of their greatest songs and greatest hits come from dreams where, you know, they dreamt about music and they dreamt about a song that they eventually made into reality, and it turned out to be, you know, one of their best songs and one of the greatest songs ever. Like, literally, that's what the Beatles with Yesterday, if you know that song, shout out. But that's literally the case of Yesterday by the Beatles, and specifically by, I guess if you want to give credit to one person, by Paul McCartney, because that song was literally just a dream that he had one night. There's other examples of other Beatles songs that I'm not going to mention, but Yesterday was one of them. Yeah, that's always been my thing, is I know other people are very good naturally, or maybe not naturally, maybe they train themselves, but just to remember their dreams and use them for the betterment of themselves and what they're doing in the world around them and all that. But that's always been my thing, is that I was never able to just, at least naturally, just remember my dreams. I always remember that I had really good dreams and very powerful dreams, but I was never able to remember them. I would say I've only ever been able to remember maybe, I don't know, maybe 1 to a generous 5% of all the dreams I've ever had, and I'm sure other people that are watching this can probably relate. But yeah, what I've noticed since doing these meditations is that on top of a lot of other smaller things that I probably didn't mention or forgot to mention most likely during this video, is that I'm remembering my dreams a lot more, which is really cool. That's something that is very interesting and honestly important to me. So sorry, a little bit of chaos going on here. Yeah. So yeah, I guess the one message to take from all of this is, I guess, to not only consider meditating and finding a style of meditation that best suits you in the moment and who you are currently in your current state of being, but you know, just seek out other things. You know, it doesn't have to be meditation, it could be anything. Seek out other things that you believe could have a positive impact on you and your current state of being, and give it a shot. You know, if you hate it, then, you know, you hate it. You learn that you hate it, and you learn that's not for you, and you can continue on life knowing that you gave it a shot and it didn't, you know, you just didn't like it for whatever reason, and you can move on with exploring new things, and that's all good. And if you do like it, and it excites you and it interests you, and you feel like you have the beginnings of a passion for this stuff, and it brings you great joy, and maybe you find purpose and meaning behind it, and you're very passionate about it, then I kind of like to think that that's signs from, whether you want to call it the universe or something greater than yourself, that's telling you that that's what you're kind of meant more to be doing on this earth and in your life. I'm gonna leave that there because I just pulled in my driveway now, and I kind of want you to chew on that yourselves for a little bit, about following your passions more and your interests in whatever makes you happy, and how, for me, I like to think that by doing that, doing what you're passionate about, stuff that makes you feel good on the inside, It's really something beyond yourself telling you that that is what you're meant to be doing in this life. And it doesn't have to be limited just to one thing. It can be many things, but something above yourself and something greater than yourself is telling you that you should be doing this, you should keep doing this, and you should keep exploring and keep seeing what else makes you feel that way. So yeah, I'm gonna leave all that there. I think that's a good spot to end on. Hope you guys are all doing well. If you have any questions or suggestions for me, do not hesitate to reach out in whatever way works best for you. Remember that there's a lot more to it than you think. And yeah, good talk today. Good little yap sesh. Good wing it day, freestyle day, whatever you want to call it. But good day today. There are always good days, but especially good day today. And yeah, talk to you guys soon.